Hey everybody, welcome to a whole new video. I know it's been a while since I posted some content. A lot of things has transpired between my last video and now. But welcome back to another video. I will be posting consistent content, and this is part of consistency. I'm still going to be posting. It may not be as frequent as before, and we're in the holiday season right now, so it's kind of hard to keep up with this. But once we get back to the swing and the holidays are over, and we get back to the swing of not being in this kind of holiday spirit, I think things will be a lot more consistent. But today's video is going to be a deep one, as you guys can see from the title. From profit to pain, and this is a 10K swing that I'm really going to rebuild from and learn from, right? And I know you guys saw a lot of the good times of just me making money in the markets, but this is also the part of being a day trader that I'm going to be consistent with you guys about. So I'm going to be completely transparent, because this journey isn't just about me just showing wins or even just how to trade, but it's also showing the reality of trading. So from October 1st to November 25th, I was up about $5,200 in my small account. And the account started with $4,000. So I was up $5,200 all the way to November 25th. And I can say that I kind of did feel like I was on top of the world to a degree, but I was trying to keep my emotions and trying to keep things in check, trying to keep, my body language, how I came into the market, just in check. I wasn't trying to supersede expectations, but, things did end up taking a turn. And then from November 26th to just about yesterday, December 12th, and I'm recording this video on December 13th, I've practically gave back all of my profits, and I'm down about 4,400 or so, 4,450, and that's nearly a $10,000 swing. So in under 2 months. So today I'm gonna go ahead and break down exactly what happened, the painful mistakes I made, and the concrete steps I will be taking to go ahead and fix this. So I'm gonna put this in like subsections. So I want to go over the glory days. Right, so let's go over the glory days. What went right initially? A few things that went right initially when I was capitalizing on a lot of these trades was that I was following my plan at the market open, and I managed my risk correctly, and I added into trades way more better than what I did after November 25th. So one of the first things that was good when October 1st happened all the way to November 25th is that I was leaving my stop orders alone. So every time I press a button to get into a trade, I have a stop order, and I keep that stop order in place, and I did not delete the stop order. And that was part of my success there. I controlled my size. I was not, adding in too heavy. So let's say, for example, if I bought into a stock and I bought one contract just to see how that contract was going to go. Once that contract was in the green, and I got confirmation, looking at time and sales, looking at the level 2, looking at I think it's called bookmark or like the order book, like the book maps. I was looking at the map. Once I took a look at that and I aligned everything also with the daily chart, higher time frames, then I would add into my position. And my add wasn't too aggressive. Maybe if I go in one contract, depending on the ticker, let's say if it's NVIDIA, I might add an extra 2 contracts, which now that brings me from 1 contract to 3 contracts. That's not too bad for a stock like that. If it was Tesla, I may add 1 extra contract on top of that, or I will leave it at 1. Right, so those are some things that led to my success, and also I was just taking profit as well. So that went ahead and set the stage for some excellence that we saw from October 1st all the way to November 25th. Right, so now I want to get into the unraveling, or in terms of like the 3 fatal flaws that I went ahead and that occurred in my trading. Right. So the first thing, let's go to risk management. Right after November 25th, risk management became an issue, because I want to say that in order to make, obviously, I'm telling you guys, I made $5,200 for me to make that, I put up some risk on some of my trades. Maybe some trades I was 10 contracts deep, 8 contracts deep on some of these things, and that allowed me to grow my account. And I started to just add into my positions a little bit too early, aggressively at that. And I was kind of forcing the market. I think mentally I was in New York when I was trading, and I put that into my post area on my YouTube channel. I was in New York and I was trading while I was there, and everything was fine, but I was spending money while I was in New York. So this is the other thing I want to put into perspective as traders, right? Is that this is a money business that we are in. And when you're growing a small account, right? And on the back end in your personal life, when you're traveling, you're having a good time, you're doing things, what does that do? What does it cause, right? It causes you to spend money. And I have this thing that when I'm home in New York City or when I'm traveling, but especially when I'm in New York City at home, is that, I feel like I have to make back what I'm spending. And I went from trading out of process to trading for money. And that one went ahead and took my whole trading left field. So when I got back from New York, my first red day was like $2,000. Like I lost $2,000 it was the second day I was back in town from being in New York. I'm down 2K. And I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? Like I can't believe that I lost that amount. And that was really due to my size. And then the second thing that I'm going to mention is not cutting my losses. Like I was not cutting my losses. I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, let me wait a little bit. And with me going in with that mindset, that led to more drawdown, more panic, more, just a failed attempt of having a successful day. And to take a loss is not even a bad thing. So, I went from not being able to take a loss because if you guys go back to my October trading, I was taking losses, maybe $200, $300, $500 max. Fine. We could come back from that. It may take us a week. It may take 2-3 days, but we can make it back from that. But when you take a 2K hit, it's hard to take it. It's hard to make it back from that. And that right there set my whole next few days out of whack. So then now I went into a greed mindset, and we're going to go over a trade shortly after I bring up this topic where, I'm not even taking profit anymore, because I'm so fixated on making back profit, I'm so fixated on doing that I'm not even thinking to myself like, okay, like hold on real quick. I need to go ahead and get this thing straight. And let me, start to make some money back little by little. So we're going to go over a trade like that shortly. And those are the 3 fatal flaws, right? It was risk management. It was greed, not taking profit. And then also I was ignoring my stop losses. I just did not keen in on my stop losses any longer, which was, a sin. And when we talk about in the trading world. So let's get to that trade that I was referring to in terms of that I did not take profit. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys, and you guys will see that one shortly. So let's see. All righty, you guys. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and back up to when I got into this trade here on, I believe this is AMD. All right. And I'm going to fast forward this, and I want to show you guys what not taking profit looks like. Okay. So I'm going to press play. I'm going to turn off the audio here. And as I'm looking at this day, we can see here, I'm looking for a second day. Just follow my mouse. I'm looking for a second day play. And you guys can see here right where it says filled. I'm here to go ahead and I put in a put order in. So this is basically me saying that I want the stock price to go down and I'll make money if the stock price falls. So as this is falling, I'm going to fast forward this by a lot. And I want you guys to take a look at what I do here. All right. So this trade is basically, it's right where I need it to be. You know what I mean? There's no need to panic. I'm only in just one contract. And then, just look at my body language. I seem a bit composed. I don't have my fingers on the desk waiting to click a button, get out of a trade. I'm pretty much at ease to right now, right? But let's fast forward this a little bit. So I want you guys to catch right when I add more contracts. Now I add an extra contract and I'm up $120. If you guys follow my stream, my goal, especially with growing a small account, is only to make $100 to $200 per day. But I started to make more in the previous month, right? And when I started to make more than $100 to $200, the mentality kind of shifts a little bit. So let's continue to watch this, right? And I want you guys to see how I go ahead and increase my contract size, because I have conviction that this thing can go a little bit lower. See, I'm up to 8 contracts now. Hold on, because I kind of went a little bit too fast there. All right. Let me press play again. Gonna go 10x speed. Let's go about, okay. Actually. So this is what happened. I had a stop order. On maybe one of my contracts, so I got stopped out. And right when I got stopped out, because remember I had 2 contracts, now this is 1 contract, so maybe one of my orders got stopped out. And then you guys can see I added extra 7 contracts, and now I'm at 8. So now I'm at 8 contracts. So I went from 1 contract to 2 contracts. One of my contracts got stopped out. I added in heavily because it felt, just looking at this 2-minute chart, it seemed like we were going to get a continued drop, right? And then now we'll go ahead and watch this trade, right? We can see here I'm up 200, 300, 400. I'm up to about almost, I think I made about almost $500 on this trade. Okay, 565. Now pause the screen here because right at this S1, I need to take profit. And I do take profit at this point. I think at a high, my open P&L is 588 because I'm not sure if I'm in another position or not, but whatever. My open P&L is 588. Right? So as this is my open P&L, I take 3 contracts off. So I did take profit, right? I did take profit. And I think I'm gonna go to my mouse here at some point, and I've already realized about $200, right? So I might click here, I might not. I'm waiting until I click here so you guys can see. But nonetheless, I was up probably like $600 or so. I should have gotten out this trade, and I'm gonna explain to you why I should have gotten out this trade. Let me pause this here. The reason why I should have gotten out this trade in totality is because it's early in the morning. We can see here I've already made about $600 within, I know it's probably hard to see, but down here in this corner, the time is there. I've already made $600 in the first 10 minutes of the market open. I need to get out because the market or the stock is not going to fall all the way down, in the first, 20 minutes of the market. We're going to get some type of bounce from certain levels, go back up, it's going to wave around. And I did not adhere to my rules at this point. Hence, I've just had a big month. I lost $2K the previous few days before this day. And luckily, I made that back on a swing trade on a different account. So, I'm a bit calm, but, nonetheless, I still had a lot of red days following, right? So I didn't take profit here. I did take profit, but I didn't clear my position. And right when I saw this, I'm going to pause again. I know you guys can't see, but you guys can see my day realized here is $336.81. I've already realized 200. So once I saw this, a few things I should have did here as well. Not only should I have gotten out of my trade completely, but I also should have put my stop to break even just so I could lock in some profit. And I didn't do that, So let's get back to the conversation I wanted to have to you guys. I just wanted to show you guys this. Well, before we get back to the conversation, I'm just going to, supersede all of this. And this is what I'm talking about, where I'm not getting out of my position. Now, I'm going to pause here again. This is red line is VWAP. The minute we break VWAP and this blue line is previous day's low, we can see here previous closes at 215.24. I need to get out the trade, because the trade is going to go against me. We can see here I've already given back profit. Now my open P&L is 222. So I've given back the profit that I just realized because I have more out of 8 contracts. I sold 3 and I held on to 5. So it took the money that I made. And now I end up holding on to the trade, and I'm just going to fast forward this so you guys can see. Now I'm down $900, $1,000 basically on the day. You know what I mean? And we could just see it all in my face right now. I just look real frustrated right here. I just look like shit. And I froze. You know what I mean? I got frustrated because now I'm thinking about everything I mentioned, right? I'm coming back from New York. I'm thinking about the big loss that I had, even though I made that back on a swing trade. Now my trading psychology is starting to, get all tired and fatigued. You know what I mean? So going back to our conversation here that I'm having, with you guys on today's EP is that I've made some mistakes, right? And there was some things, as I mentioned, that was just taking my mind. It was, I have a trip that I'm going to Africa. So I'm going to Africa in the month of in this month of December. I'm thinking that December is next month and we're in December. I'm going to Africa, right? And then, like I said, going to New York. So that's like the bill pressure, right? And by bill pressure, it's just bills, life, expenses. So I'm dealing with all of the pressures, and that turned into a cocktail of just me becoming into a gambler, right? And not, having the proper assessments that I had and the proper accuracy I had in the previous month. So I was no longer, reacting to the charts, but more so reacting to my own anxiety, right? So I have a recovery plan. And my recovery plan that will take place is that I'm going to take a break from the markets. I may trade like next week towards like the end, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't know if that's the 18th, the 20 something, but whatever. But I will not be live up until next year. And the reason why I won't be live is because of travel. Like I said, I'm traveling to Africa, the holidays. This is just not really the best time for me to be trading. So I'm going to take a step back from trading for right now. I'll be back in 2026. And we're gonna go ahead and party again. We're gonna party hard, right? The rule that I will follow, or some of the rules that I will follow, is that I would not risk more than 1% of my account in the beginning. And of course, I'm gonna end up adding into more risk, but that's one thing. When I come back in January, is that I would not be risking more than 1%. We're gonna build slowly, right? Step 3 is that I will have my stop losses in place and I will not be deleting them. If they do get hit or touched, I am out of that trade and I'm done trading for the rest of the day. Okay, I would not move my stops unless, like some stops, I have premeditated. I have pre-planned stops when I enter a trade, and it immediately goes to a 60-cent risk. With certain stocks like Tesla, Meta, I need to give those stocks about $1.50 risk, like it's ATR. So that's average true range. So I need to give it that risk. So I cannot lose more than a certain amount of dollars. So if I'm in one contract, I cannot lose no more than $150. So those are the only ones I will go ahead and move. But I'm probably going to fix that. I'm probably going to have a set risk to have my stops at $1. And I will move it tighter rather than moving it further away. The next thing is that profit taking. I will be taking profits at levels, at its moving averages, at pivot levels, at defined to levels I found in the pre-market or levels I found in my off hours when I was just doing a market check. I will continue to go ahead and have a proper pre-market assessment, pre-market journaling to make sure that I can see the market and I can come in with a strategy so I'm well prepared. And then the last thing that I will do to help me is that once I'm off the charts, I'm off the charts. I'm not going to be sitting here looking at charts on my off time. I'm not doing any of that anymore. All right, it's going to be more so like once I'm done with my trading, I'm gone and I'm out about my day, and I'll be back within the next month to trade again. And then also the next last thing is that I would not be trading every single freaking day. All right, I won't be doing that anymore. If I have a big week, I would take maybe 1 day off. The following weeks, maybe Monday, I just go ahead and take off if I have a big week. If I have a big month, I would take probably 3 days off, 2 days off, the start of the new month. Okay. And I will go in back to small sizing if I did increase my size a little bit. And when every new month starts, I'm back to trading one contract solely for the first week so I could gain an understanding of where the market is at. And maybe I might add one or two contracts, but I would not be going in 8-5 for, 6 contracts. That's something I would not be doing. I would have a max contract early in the months where it's about 3 contracts max. Okay. So to go ahead and end this video, I just want to embrace this process. I want to be transparent with you guys. I want to go ahead and own up. I don't want to be the YouTuber to show you guys the greatness and then I'm hiding, the flaws and failures, because that's a part of trading. You guys are going to run into this too. You know what I mean? It was good to start this and then, be successful and show you guys that I can trade. But I also have to show you guys that not only can I trade, but I do lose money as well. And then how do you bounce back from that? So the loss hurts. It's a very expensive loss. But, at least, I can learn from all of this. And we can learn together and build from this together. So trading isn't about just one big win. It's really about consistency over time. And I'm sharing this just so, once again, that you guys can see that I'm a real person. And this is something that can be, fixed. You know what I mean? But not only can it be fixed, but it's just a part of the journey. And can you stop losses from happening? Absolutely not. But can you control your losses to be smaller? Yes, you can. And that's gonna be the next phase. All right. So my next call of action is to not trade for the remaining of the year heavily. Come back in January. I'll see you guys. If you guys have any thoughts, if you guys want to know anything, please put some comments. Please put some comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about this episode. Let me know what areas are you struggling in. Even some next YouTube ideas that you guys would like me to go ahead and record and post for you guys. So the rebuild journey shall begin. All right. So please subscribe, like, follow. And I'll see you guys on the next one. This is OMT, Open Market Trader. Peace and love. Out.